He breathed a sigh of relief when he got his advantage. And then right afterwards, the very last person did their Jack in the Box, and she got the option to eliminate someone. And I was just like, wow, that sucks. That really sucks. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video. So today we're going to be talking about Squid Game, and this is going to be Squid Game the challenge over on Netflix. Usually I don't really talk about these types of shows. I'm really just like a drama TV show slash reality TV type of girly, but you know, I've been like watching things now and I'm just like, it seems interesting, so let's talk about it, you know? But obviously, if you watch the original Netflix show under the same name, you would know that that original Squid Game TV show, it was really demented, okay? What makes it even more scary, for me at least, I'm not entirely sure how you guys feel. What makes it even more scary for me is because of all the crazy stuff we've caught rich people doing in the past and also still catching them doing. And it's just right under our noses, and obviously it's without consequences. Sometimes they do, you know, get punishment, but watching this, as crazy as it sounds, I could see someone doing this. I could see, you know, people getting pulled off the street trying to compete in these underground games, and rich people just dangle this money in front of you, you know, like it's nuts. So my mind is just racing with so many things that could actually happen in real life. So it's petrifying to me. The challenges in the show seem pretty easy sometimes, but then you realize that they're actually more mentally demanding. So in the original show, they obviously kind of offed the eliminated players. Hopefully you guys know what I mean when I say off. So obviously in the challenge, they can't do that in real life. Okay, duh. But instead they kind of just end up shooting the eliminated players with like ink onto their shirt, just to kind of tell them, okay, you're out, you know, you gotta leave the game type of thing. So they start off with 456 players, and they're all playing for a chance to win $4.56 million. So for each player that's eliminated, that's $10,000 added to the overall pot for the winner at the end. So this was the very first season. They have been renewed for a second season, so I'm curious to see what different type of challenges they're gonna have, because there were a few ones that were different from the original show, but they also kind of stuck to a lot of the original series challenges to life as well. So in the second one, I'm curious to see which challenges they're going to bring about. Now let's dive into what they had them doing. Okay, so obviously we know about the epic red light green light challenge with that creepy 6-foot doll. Okay, yeah. But they make them stand there for a good couple of minutes frozen. So there was a good bit of people that just flunked out right out the gate, but it was kind of overly dramatic with the interviews and all that stuff. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is just a bit much for like kind of like a reality style TV show challenge thing, you know? But I guess that was kind of what they were going for, like that kind of semi dramatic feel, but it's still kind of fun. I don't know, maybe. But you know, they were playing for a lot of money, so this is serious for them. Everybody seemed to dislike this one guy. I think it was 432, because I think it was like his attitude, the way he was acting. But it's kind of like a dog eat dog competition. So the way he was acting, it's just kind of like selfish, but it was like, well, you kind of have to be in some cases, you know? Especially when you get to the top, like when it's less and less people, you really have to start honing in on your selfishness a little bit, like self-preservation. Episode 2 is the cookie challenge. They have to cut out that shape out of the cookie with a needle. So several people right from the beginning get eliminated because they couldn't really make a decision on who would get what shape. So they couldn't really do that in time, so they would each get eliminated. So it was like maybe 8 people that get eliminated just because they couldn't make a decision. So there was one guy who also kept crying every 2 seconds. I don't know if y'all remember him, but it was like, my guy, it really is not that deep. I understand, yes, you are playing for a lot of money, but to start crying on a TV show that so many people are gonna see, it's not really a good look. You know what I mean? I understand, yes, showing emotion sometimes is cool, but to cry for everything, like this man was crying about everything. Oh my god. He's the one that ends up picking the umbrella for his group, and he did end up getting eliminated when he was almost done. So that was kind of unfortunate. And of course, he started crying a little bit after that too. He looked like he was about to throw up the entire time because he kept hearing other people getting eliminated around them because they would break the cookie. And I'm like, you are doing the most, sir. Like, the crying was enough, but to act like you throwing up, like, please chill out. In between the challenges, they also had to do like tasks for their like character and stuff like that. And the very first episode, they actually got a chance to eliminate someone that they barely knew. And what's hilarious to me is that the two people that chose to, you know, obviously eliminate a person, because I think they had another option, either eliminate a person or do something else. I don't know. I think give another player an advantage in the game, but they decided to eliminate, right? And during the cookie round, both of these people who did the eliminating of that person end up getting kicked out or eliminated in the cookie round. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. Now in the third episode, Hussein, I think is the name of the player, he was one of 432's haters, right? And he kept calling him frat boy and really just trying to get him out. Like, he just wanted 432 eliminated. He was just consumed by getting 432 out of this game. So he picks up this phone when it rings. They're in their, you know, quarters or bedrooms, whatever, right? He picks up the phone, and the first time it's for burgers and fries. That comes out, everybody ravenous, they eat it all, right? And the second time he picks up, they were actually asking him to convince someone to pick up the phone or else he was going to be eliminated. So if he had convinced someone to pick up the phone, that person would then be eliminated. Yeah, so he's pretty much just trying to lie to convince the other person to pick up the phone, but he still ends up having to go home. So just really kind of like hilarious to me that every time people, you know, try to be vindictive, it really just shows their character trying to be untrustworthy. It almost kind of works against you, you know? Episode 3 is Battleship, which I've never played. I've always seen other people play it. It looks interesting, and I've kind of learned a little bit about it watching this episode, but I still don't really know how to play it. Unless you play it, I feel like you don't really know like that. So they went into it kind of thinking it was going to be the tug of war challenge with the rope, but it was actually a human-sized version of the game Battleship. So they actually didn't need brawn. They needed strategy. 432, he ends up getting eliminated in this round finally, so everyone could stop being annoyed. But 182, I think his name was TJ, he was a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. He was a really nice guy, and he did get his whole team through the whole Battleship challenge, but I feel like he was just doing a little bit too much at some points. He was just like, oh, I'm gonna get everybody through this, you're all good, we're doing fine. And it was just like, okay, this is great, but we gonna need you to play the game, okay? Just pay attention. Episode 4, they have 2 tests, and the first is choosing 3 players to eliminate from the group. And the second test is probably one of the most savage ones yet, and it was a Jack in the Box or Jack in the Boxes challenge, because I think it was like 4 or 5 of them that they just laid out. All the players that volunteered as tributes, they lined up in front of these Jack in the Box. It was one of 3 things. It was either you can choose someone to eliminate, you have an advantage in a game, or you're eliminated. So the one person that ends up getting an advantage in the next game is the very person that gets eliminated. So he breathed a sigh of relief when he got his advantage, and then right afterwards, the very last person did their Jack in the Box, and she got the option to eliminate someone. And I was just like, wow. That sucks. That really sucks. Episode 5, they end up having a picnic, and everyone's picking their friends to sit with and eat with, and they find these marbles at the bottom of their picnic basket. Y'all, I was like, I don't know why y'all getting so ecstatic and excited about these picnic baskets. Y'all already know this is a game. Like, they are here to drive you insane. You should know there's probably going to be something to this. They're hoping for the best, but they see the marbles and everybody's already freaking out, because here they are looking at their friends that they're sitting with having this jolly good time, and then they realize, oh, we're gonna have to now compete against each other and one of us has to go home. Yeah. It ends up leading to the marble challenge. I think each of them have to pick a game that they're gonna do. Whoever wins, they get to leave, and then the other one, they get eliminated. All of them now have to play against their allies pretty much, and we realize very quickly that there are no allies. Like I said in the beginning, as more and more people get eliminated, you eventually get very selfish, okay? And that proves very true always. It was pretty emotional, but one pair couldn't really make up their mind about who won the game, so they're both kind of cut out. And that's what I appreciate about the game as well, is that they give you a fair chance and a fair shake, but if you can't come to some solutions, like they kind of push you to really just figure it out, so you're not like bickering. I'm just like, I really like that, because we would be here forever waiting on people to come to, you know, some type of agreement. So they both end up getting eliminated. In episode 6, the ladies tried to all make an alliance with each other, but TJ was picked as the captain, so some people had issues with that, but no one else volunteered, so I mean, it kind of was what it was. So we found out he's safe from elimination in the next test, where they actually have to choose a person to bring through to the next challenge, and then that person has to pick someone, and so on and so forth. So let's just say no one could be trusted in this game, okay? No one. So you may think you have an alliance, all right? And then the next minute they stab you in the back, and this is proven true over and over again in every single episode. Pretty much a lot of people who thought they were going to get picked because the person that they thought were their allies was up there, they thought, you know, oh, most definitely, since they're up there, they're definitely gonna pick me. No, they did not get picked. So a lot of this is strategy and luck when it comes to this game, because a lot of the times if you have to like get picked or get chosen, and a lot of things are left up to chance, so it really is just a game of luck in some ways. After this, they end up getting to another challenge, right? And before then, they have to select like these numbers out of this like a claw game. I think they said, at least the producers, that it was supposed to be connected in some way to the beginning of the actual TV series, where the guy, the main character, he's in the arcade and he's using, you know, that claw game, and he's getting the prize. I thought that was a pretty, you know, nifty little connection there. But they picked their numbers not knowing what the numbers are for now, and that kind of dictates the order in which they're going to go in this challenge, but they don't know what the challenge is just yet, and it ends up being the glass bridge challenge. So in episode 7, they have to figure out the difference between the sturdy glass and the one that's the trap door. So they all decide that they're going to choose once, and if they choose correctly, then they don't have to move again until the path is clear to the end, based on what they agreed to do, right? This is what they agreed to do. Everyone was like, okay, cool. TJ ends up getting eliminated first. Okay, he's the first one to go, and that's really unfortunate because I actually did like him. However, he was annoying. All right, like I said, really good guy, but just annoying in some cases. And everyone is pretty much wrong until the third person, Trey, and then the fourth person follows through with the plan to overtake him, but chooses wrong as well. So now the fifth person, Ashley, doesn't want to go, and they're being timed. So if none of them move forward and the timer runs out, then everyone's eliminated. So like I said, in this game, it's almost like they push you to hurry up and make a decision. Sometimes obviously you're not going to want to volunteer as tribute. However, it pushes you to stand up at some point, make a decision, because if not, you're all gone. It continues on into episode 8, and Trey goes again, and he does pick correctly twice, but then on the third move, he does fall through. So everyone's now looking at Ashley like, okay, you gotta stop being selfish. You have to move forward because that's what we agreed upon. So then she finally moves up and she chooses correctly. They make it halfway and people start getting scared, but then finally they make it to the end. 8 players end up getting eliminated, and with less than a minute to spare. So cutting it very close. Eyes go to Ashley to get eliminated next, at least with Koi, because she was just like, well, what was that? That was really selfish of you to do. We agreed upon one thing and then you just turned to not doing it. Now Ashley says that she's trying to fake being friends with people because she's trying to, you know, make good, right? Because of some foolishness that she was doing. Now they have another test with the dice challenge, and they nominate Mai, hopefully I'm saying that right, Mai, as their captain because they feel she'll be fair to everyone. So she has to nominate either herself or someone to be eliminated if she rolls a 6, and the game goes on until at least 3 players are eliminated. They come up with a plan to all nominate themselves when it's their turn so it could be more fair, but Mai says hell nah. All right, she goes after Ashley, and everyone's just looking at her like, what are you doing, Mai? Like, what? Like, that's not the plan. We agreed to all go for ourselves. But Ashley was getting kind of cocky when Mai didn't roll a 6. And I also think it was kind of BS that they were saying that Mai was a backstabber in this situation, considering what Ashley did in that last challenge. It was just really like, even though she did eventually move up, what was that about? Kind of proves that you can't really be trusted. So Ashley chooses Mai as revenge, but she loses too. And in the end, I think it's B, Perna, and Chad that are eliminated. In episode 9, they have the Circle of Trust challenge. Out of 9 players, there will be 6 players that are eliminated. So there would be a top 3 afterwards. So if you're tapped on the shoulder, you remove your blindfold and take the gift box, and then you would give it to one of the other players. And then everybody would take their blindfold off, and the player who was given the box would guess who gave it to them. So if they end up choosing wrong, they would end up getting eliminated. However, if the person that you picked was correct as being the person that gave it to you, they would then be eliminated. The top 3 ends up being Mai, Phil, and Sam. Everybody else gets eliminated. But episode 10 is the finale, and they all have dinner together like they did in the actual TV series, and they share a little bit about themselves and their backgrounds. Phil was actually born in Brazil, but he grew up in New Jersey in the US. Then he moved to Hawaii to teach scuba diving. Sam is from Idaho. He grew up in a very religious family with parents that couldn't really accept that he was gay, and a mother who constantly sends him hateful messages, but he's now married and in a much happier place. And lastly, we have Mai, who was actually born in Vietnam and moved to the US as a refugee at the age of 8. She grew up in a very strict household, and then she joined the Navy, but then she got pregnant, and she was actually a virgin up until joining the Navy, so she didn't really know much about sex and the consequences that could follow. She ends up telling her parents that she was pregnant, and they cut her off, and she had to handle being a single parent all by herself. But she eventually met her husband, and they have children and also grandchildren together. So it was nice getting to know at least some of them. So right after dinner, there's a test where there's 3 buttons. There's one option that has no consequence, one that eliminates you, and one that allows you to pick someone to take with you on into the next and final challenge. So Mai opts to go first. She presses the button and it turns gray, so no consequence. But then Sam goes next and he ends up getting eliminated. So Phil and Mai are the last 2 standing. Their final game is rock, paper, scissors, believe it or not. And the winner of each round gets a key to use to try and pretty much open this safe that's in this room with them. But if it doesn't open up, then you would just play again. So whoever opens up the safe at the end of it all wins Squid Game, and Mai does end up being the winner. They had a couple of snippets afterwards of, some of the players and their lives after the show ended, and I thought that was pretty cute. We also see a little snippet of how they did in the movie where the guy, after he won Squid Game, he got the money on this card and he put it into the ATM and you could see the total. However, according to Mai, she claims that she has yet to receive the actual funds. Obviously, taxes do play into it because it's America. So it's going to be rather interesting in terms of when she actually gets it. I don't know if she maybe is just, not really being truthful about it and that she actually did get it. Because you know how some people, like when they come into like a really vast fortune, they would much rather not tell anybody. So yeah, that could be what's going on. Who knows? But it was a rather interesting one. I think my favorite challenge would probably have to be, I think maybe the bridge challenge, because it's so tense and I'm on edge the entire time, and it's just really like, ooh, what's gonna happen next, But y'all let me know what your favorite challenge is from both the TV series and also if it's the same in the challenge. I don't know, because they did have different challenges in this show. So let me know what you thought about it, if y'all thought they did a pretty good job of executing the vision that was captured in the original TV series in this challenge. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.